Hi, my name is Dawn Wood, and I am the host for Workplace Culture Podcast, along with my co host and dear friend, Priscilla Jaeger. And so today we're going to talk about something that we've talked about before, and that is work life balance and stress awareness. Now, technically, April is Stress Awareness Month in the workplace, but unfortunately, 1 month is not near enough time to talk about how many people are feeling stress from their workplace, whether you're working in the top executive position, corporate America, sales, labor industries, the performance industry, creative industry, there is always stress. Whenever there's money to be made, there's going to be stress, whether it's from yourself, from your boss, from your colleagues, from your company, there's always going to be stress. And so we can ask our company for some help with that, but to depend on them to regulate the stress is not exactly realistic. So, again, that has to start with ourselves and some really strong boundaries. And so, April is recognized as Stress Awareness Month, and it is a time to pause and examine the invisible pressures that many employees across many different types of work carry every single day. In today's episode, we're going to explore how workplace stress shows up, why it persists, and what meaningful, sustainable solutions that we can look at for individuals, for teams, and for organizations. So, the reality of workplace stress is, again, across industries. Employees are navigating increasing workloads, constant digital connectivity, AI. Is AI going to take my job? How do I learn AI? Staffing shortages, and the rising expectations for performance. So, burnout, emotional exhaustion, disengagement, anxiety, they're no longer rare experiences. They're experienced by us all. They're normalized workplace conditions. And so employers are just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I have stress too. Okay, we all do. But we all need to learn to manage it in a way that is healthy because even in the medical field, they say that the biggest cause of death and disease, guess what it is? It's stress. Stress completely destroys our bodies. When stress is chronic, it actually impacts productivity, creativity, collaboration, and your overall well being. Recognizing stress as an organizational issue, not just a personal weakness, is going to be the first step towards meaningful change. Common workplace stressors are unclear expectations. I think that's first and foremost to deal with. But then you've got lack of support from leadership, especially if they're suffering from a shortage in employees, insufficient staffing, insufficient training, poor communication, and limited work life boundaries. These all contribute to sustained stress. Employees also face psychological safety concerns, sexual harassment, discrimination, bullying, fear of speaking up, or the pressure to remain constantly available 24/7. Whenever your boss calls you or asks a question, whenever there's a problem, you're available. These conditions create environments where survival replaces innovation and exhaustion replaces engagement. So you're constantly in that fight or flight mode, which again is horrible for your health. So the solutions that an organization can take. Healthy workplace cultures are intentionally designed. Organizations can reduce stress by setting realistic workloads, encouraging boundaries around time off and communication, encouraging PTO, training leaders in emotional intelligence, and creating psychologically safe environments where employees feel heard, safe, and supported. Transparent communication, flexible work structures, more remote possibilities, and access to mental health resources are essential components of sustainable performance. So, for individual strategies for resilience, while organizations carry responsibility, individuals, we ourselves can build protective habits. We can practice setting clear boundaries, taking regular breaks, getting up from your desk, not just sitting hunched over at your desk. Your eyes need a break. Your body needs a break. So you need to move. Get up and take a walk. Close your eyes for a few minutes. Put some eye drops in. Get some water. Get something to eat. And then supportive peer relationships are also extremely important. And intentional recovery time. All of this helps regulate stress. We're like batteries, so that when we completely run out, we actually need that time to recharge and reboot. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a strategy for longevity, clarity, and professional sustainability. Stress Awareness Month reminds us that well being and performance are not competing priorities, they are deeply connected. Healthy employees build healthy workplaces. Healthy workplaces build sustainable success. Meaningful change begins when we choose to care for people, not just productivity. So today we're going to be rewinding to episode 9. In episode 9, we talked about work life balance, stress awareness, and the importance of taking your PTO. Priscilla does a beautiful and helpful exercise, and we discuss tools for managing stress, taking your PTO, and the importance for employers to actually have adequate sick time, personal days, PTO. A lot of states are regulating this now. I know the state of Washington does. So this is very important change and wonderful for our workplaces. Also, mental health insurance coverage. So if you have benefits, you should also have mental health insurance coverage. And it doesn't have to be like, I think that there's kind of the stigma around mental health coverage. And I can tell you that we have mental health coverage at my workplace. And I actually just started talking to someone about hormone imbalance, which, women that are 40 and over start having hormone imbalances. And that alone can cause, when you've never had anxiety, all of a sudden you've got anxiety to deal with. And so my conversations with the professional that I'm working with is actually, it's like a Zoom call. So it's not like I have to go find somebody that's nearby. She is in the state of Washington, but um, she's actually just a Zoom call, and we talk about the biggest thing that we talk about is setting boundaries and actually taking the time off. I've got plenty of time off to take. Why aren't you taking that time off? And so even somebody like myself who's advocating for, work-life balance and taking your PTO, I myself struggle with taking that PTO. And so it's very important to have all of these tools. And without further ado, I would like to introduce my good friend, Priscilla.
Hi, everyone. My name is Priscilla. Thank you, Dawn, for the introduction. Today we're going to be talking a lot about work-life balance. So I'd love to invite anyone who's listening to just start with taking a nice deep breath. Allow yourself to arrive into this moment wherever you are. And just taking a moment to, get present. And I think this is the core of everything we do, whether it's, I've taught many modalities, and it all comes to just taking a breath and being here now. Similar to Dawn, I've worked many different jobs, worn many different hats. I'm a very creative being. And it's true. One thing that's true with every job, every single job, and every single thing in life, it comes with an element of stress. And stress isn't something we're ever going to get rid of. I wish I could say, like, with a magic wand, poof, we can. But truthfully, it's something that we get to manage, and we get to learn and better understand ourselves. And I teach a lot about self-discovery. At the core of it all, it's just a way of spiraling in and getting to know ourselves a little bit deeper, and to notice what brings me into a state of stress, or what brings me into a state of joy and ease and peace. And I often call it this peace meter. Anyone that ever does a sound bath or an event with me, I typically give this little speech at the beginning of, you may notice, and I use my hand to just kind of demonstrate. There's sounds like, for example, a police siren may go off. That brings me to agitation on my peace meter. Or maybe there's some beautiful bells playing or a drum or something that brings me into this state of peace. And then again, maybe a baby cries, rah, brings to agitation. So just noticing in your life constantly, as if you have a little peace meter right at your third eye, like noticing what in your life and in your environments bringing you to peace or bringing you to agitation. And can we just notice and observe and come back to a state of equanimity, a state of just coming back to the center and knowing that this is just how it is right now, and I can breathe and I can be with it. And it's just like the weather, the clouds will come and go. The rain will come and go. The sun will come and go. Everything is constantly coming and going, coming and going. Our thoughts will come and go. Our agitations will come and go. And I love to teach. Currently, I do a lot of business coaching. And stress comes when we're starting a new business. Stress comes when we're developing our websites or, oh my gosh, what? I have to learn social media. So I love to walk people through and just hold their hands truthfully. We share screens and we work on, do we need to call the DOR today? Do we need to get our LLC today? What is it that we need to accomplish or want to accomplish in our business? And how can we do it with less stress? And so we're going to get into the somatics of things. If you are driving, of course, disclaimer, come back to this another time. If you are able to join along, I would love for you to just follow along. We will end. I do have a beautiful little chakra overtone drum here that I will play for us towards the end, just to introduce you into some other modalities that you might want to go check out, like a sound bath. Or again, finding some music on Spotify that might be peaceful for you. But we're going to start with just bringing our hands together, just taking all the energy that we have and just taking some deep breaths. And then I want you to just shake it off, like shake off whatever the day has brought your way and just kind of let your whole body shake. If you can shake out your legs, if you can do the standing up and just jump around, letting our energy off, throwing whatever doesn't serve down to the earth so it can be composted and transmuted. Maybe even one more time, rubbing the hands together, creating a little heat. Taking some breaths in and out, your own pace, your own rhythm. There's no right or wrong. And again, just shaking it out. Let yourself get wiggly and silly. And if people are watching you like, what the hell are they doing? Then just, party on. They might join you. All right. And then we're going to bring our hands together. Just take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. And then we're going to create with our hands this OK symbol. Thumb is going to rest right over the index finger. And we're just saying, I'm okay. This is my favorite one to remember. I'm okay. Then I'm going to bring my thumbs to the temples. Fingers are just going to rest right on the forehead. And what we're doing here is we're actually holding on what's called neurovascular points. So the neurovascular points are right here on your forehead. And usually when you just lay your hands on your forehead, you immediately are connecting to those points. And our hands are like magnets. So we're pulling all of our energy up into our forebrains so we can avoid going into fight, flight, and freeze where we feel like we go into the protector mode, right? So we can keep our blood in the forebrain instead of having it go down into our adrenals and making us want to run from any situation or freeze or fight. And when we hold here, this is the moment where I love to just breathe in and out. If your shoulders start to get a little, cranky, you can always just kind of soften the elbows and maybe even soften your head and neck and just take some breaths here. If you need to take a pause and shake it off, pause and shake it off. But just holding for at least 1 or 2 minutes here. And I love to hold this. Sometimes, like if I'm in a room where there's a lot of people and I feel weird doing this in front of someone, I'll go get myself to the bathroom. get to the
Hmm.
bathroom. And you can sit in the bathroom and do this. And usually that's where you can find a little peace. You can try that mantra, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Or you can simply say to yourself what you wish to be feeling, like maybe I'm calm, or I'm at peace, or I'm grounded. Just calling in your intention as you hold here. Maybe it's I'm worthy or I'm enough if you find yourself taking things really personal, you know. Or maybe it's I can do this. And then just starting to smooth your forehead, just kind of giving yourself some little pets, like they're there. And you might notice your body, you've been doing this your whole life. Naturally, intuitively, our body knows what to do. So if you've forgotten your keys, oh, if you're in a state of anger, you typically hold here on the side of our heads. Like we do this naturally because our body knows that we need it. And it's a really great way of just calming ourselves down and self-soothing. It's so soothing.
Right.
And then we're gonna,
Animals do this.
yeah,
They self-soothe by grooming themselves, if you think about it.
totally, totally. And then we're going to smooth down to the temples and smooth up over your ears. We're tracing a line, and then we're just going to let our hands rest on our neck here. And just again, taking a deep breath in and out. And I love to bring in a little hum here. This is a great way of calming the vagus nerve, which is a really great way of just dropping us back into that state of, rest and digest, of relaxation. So if you're ever just needing a great way, this is a really nice one to do before bed as well. You can just lay in bed holding like this if you feel, comfortable doing so. And you can hum yourself a song, or it can just simply be a breath in. And if you're ever uncomfortable humming, maybe just try it anyway. Or, a silent internal hum is also fine. But humming is just such a great way of getting yourself to calm. And then we're going to start to bring our hands down to our shoulders. Maybe give yourself a nice little massage here. You deserve it. This is giving any tension that's being held in the neck or the shoulders a little massage, and imagining again the hands like magnets, just pulling that tension and stress up and out. And then we're going to start to smooth the hands down and just kind of sweep that energy off the body, letting it go. I always like to I call this lung pets. This is my own little saying, but these are lung points here. And we're just kind of smoothing out any grief or stuckness or stagnation being held in here, just sending it out beyond your human energy field, letting it go. And then we're going to do that one more time, a little faster. So, okay. Thumbs to temples, fingers at the forehead. And then we're going to smooth the fingers down to the temples, up over the ears, down the neck, to the shoulders. And then we're just going to take rest at the heart. And this can be something, try this on. I love when people try this on. Like if you're in a Zoom meeting or if you're just anytime, just see what it feels like. You can even do this one-handed where it could look like this. Like, oh, I'm just sweeping my hair behind my ears. This also, it could be that simple. I love that it's just so simple and effective. So try this on. Nobody will ever even know what you're doing. But we're just going to hold at our heart, and I invite you to close your eyes, and we're going to try on a little breathing practice here. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's called box breathing, and the reason it's called box breathing is you're going to envision the shape of a square or a box, and we're going to inhale for a count of 4 going up. I'm going to say hold for a count of 4 at that top, and then imagine a line in your breath going down, exhaling out for a count of 4. And then we'll hold completely empty for a count of 4 and start again. So you're tracing this shape of a square with your breath. And If you feel like this is hard to follow along with my count, go your own rhythm, your own pace. It's totally fine. Just keep, doing your best. And yeah, we'll begin. I will guide us through. So just letting your eyes start to close, letting your hands rest on your heart, maybe even tuning in to your heart's desires, your intentions. And it could, again, be coming back to that mantra, bringing in peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And just taking some nice deep breaths to begin, breathing in fully through the nose, out the nose or mouth, allowing yourself to arrive into your seat, rooting down through your sits bones, sitting nice and tall, letting your shoulders soften down away from your ears, and turning your gaze inward, and envisioning the shape of a square. And we'll begin breathing in 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. One more time. In 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. And let your breath just start to find its own rhythm. And feeling what it's like with your eyes remaining closed, just holding this space for yourself, knowing that in this moment you are safe. And feeling what it's like to hold yourself in safety, knowing that at any moment you have the power to get yourself back to safety. And feeling the power of your very own breath. And I invite you to just keep holding here with your eyes closed, listening with your inner ears, seeing with your inner eyes, and just enjoying a little bit of sound. If you feel like you need to let your hands soften onto your lap or you need to change position, allow yourself to take care of you. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. And just letting these sounds wash over you. Returning your awareness to your breath. And thanking yourself for taking this time to spiral in. And to connect back to yourself. The most important being that there is in this moment, the most important time right now. And envisioning your entire being filling with a beautiful golden light. So if you could just fill yourself back up. And if there's any power that you've given away today, just call it all back to you now. And if there's any power that you're holding that doesn't belong to you, imagine yourself sending that back to the sender with only love. Offering yourself kindness and compassion, forgiveness. And I'd like to thank you for taking this time to join us on this journey today. You can slowly open your eyes and come back into this space. And as always, give yourself permission to drink a lot of water today and every day going forward. Another great stress reliever, water.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Priscilla. That was lovely. And so we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. Please feel free to subscribe and to share this with someone that you know who's going through a lot of stress right now so that they can, at the very least, go through that meditation that we just went through to, share that with somebody you care about. Again, I think the more that we do that, we listen to each other, we're there for each other, we show kindness to each other, and we share things like this that are great tools to manage stress. I think the world would be a better place if we all did that for each other, instead of yelling at each other, we share with each other these important tools and are there for each other.